Hello again. I'm Nelson Abalos Jr., born and raised in San Diego, California. I learned recently before I left Webflow, they looked up my records. I am the fifth ever paying Webflow customer. And so that's how old I am. Who was number one? I don't know. Was it Sergi as a test or something? I don't know. But yeah, number five. So happy to do that. So that's me. I've been using Webflow since 2013, right out of closed beta, and been a fan ever since with every update. And I'm still a fan. Yeah, worked for them since June. Yeah, June 2015. That's where 2015 comes from. All the way until just recently. Was it August 11th this year? So it was a 8 year, 2 month run.
It's incredible, Nelson.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and show Ophelia. Let's see here. Um, so yeah, just recently I launched this, and so it was my answer to basically me stressing out like a week before I left Webflow. I was like, okay, I know the easiest thing to do is create an agency. And when I want to create an agency, and it's going to be with my wife. But there needs to be some time for branding, for copy. We need to do the traditional route, and I can't rush that process. I don't want to rush my wife, who's a great designer. And so while I'm waiting for this plan to come about, for this design, for the wireframes, everything about this, the traditional route, what can I do? Well, I've asked my wife, can I help people still? Can, like, here's my idea. I'm gonna help people and I'm gonna charge them, for my time. And she's like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, why? And she said, you're only one person. You don't have enough time. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. So what do I do? I don't know. So I held back on that idea. And then a week later, I'm like, why doesn't the community help the community? And then things just started rolling. And I said, okay, I need four things to happen for this MVP. It's, how can someone buy credits on Ophelia, become a member and buy credits? How can they attach those credits to as a support ticket and submit it? And then on the other side, how can someone who is a pro answer those tickets and cash out those credits that they've earned? And once I figured out step one, it was just a snowball effect. Like, I need to keep building. And because of that, I didn't feel like it was a traumatic switch from working at Webflow to doing my own things. It was just more of I found like that Indiana Jones replacement where I take the skull and go, switch. And my time was just filled with building Ophelia. And I think that's what I missed the most. You know, I was helping the community from the inside and doing so much, but it got to the point where I wasn't building enough. And that's where my heart, my or where my heart, what I like to do. Uh, Being a builder from the beginning since 2013, and less you get to build, then it's like you see all your friends, kind of like that SpongeBob meme where Squidward is looking outside the window and seeing Patrick and SpongeBob running across while he's looking out the window. That was me, because I'm like, oh, Webflow launched this. Here you go, community. Oh, I wish I could play with that. And then they launched something else. Oh, here you go, community. And it just kept happening. And I'm like, oh, I wish I had time. I wish I had time. And now I do have the time. Um, and it wasn't such a traumatic event. The only thing that's traumatic, though, is that in America, medical medical insurance. So that's something I'm learning. First time in my 20-year career of like going on my own. So yeah, learning. But back on Ophelia, this is something that I want to, the idea to let the community help the community. So what people can do is, if you're a free member, you can buy credits to submit your ticket. And then if you're a pro, you can go ahead and look at the tickets and click on a ticket and answer it. It's basically a support board. Very simple, but very complex in the back end. I've built this within 1 month, and I tried to make it as fun and lighthearted as possible. But I have a lot of ideas in the future of this. And if you see right here, these two, I'm proud to say that um, those two are some of the first tickets ever on this platform. We've had 9 sales finally, 3 tickets submitted, 2 have been solved, and one's in progress. And like it's working, it's starting, and I'm super happy about it. But yeah, um, future things for Ophelia. There's so much I want to do. I want to help as many community members as possible. But I can go deeper into that. I think someone, Mason, you had your hand up, or you're just celebrating.
I was just celebrating. That's
What's
incredible.
been the biggest kind of from a figuring out the workflow? I'm sorry, I don't have my video on. I'm eating a little dinner right now. Didn't think you wanted to watch me eat, but from like a workflow standpoint, I think you said you obviously on Webflow, and then I think it's you told us you were using the Wham stack.
Yeah, WAMs. Webflow, Airtable, MemberStack, Make, and Stripe.
Nice. What has been the biggest challenge for you in setting all this up when it comes to like the technical, the kind of logic or data flow, or what were the big hurdles for you to to overcome?
The biggest hurdle was understanding the Stripe API. It seemed very daunting to to go through their documentation and try to understand what the heck is going on. But one community member saved me, and it was Connor Finlayson. I looked up, I found his YouTube video when I'm like, make with Stripe and Webflow, and he happened to have a YouTube video, and he's a genius because like he touched on all the things that I needed, but then there was this one important piece that I still didn't understand, and in his video he didn't get to it because he said, if you want more details, will dive deeper in my course. Go ahead and click on this link. And I'm like, oh, I have to pay for his course. You know what? You're worth it. You're worth it, man. I'm investing in this. Let's go. And it was a marketplace Stripe course with Make and Airtable, and it was $199. And I was like, I don't care. I need it. Let's go. And he made it so simple to to understand. Now I'm like, oh my god, Stripe is so powerful. I need to tell the world. And because of him, I learned Stripe API. I learned more about Make. I learned more about Airtable, and I finally understand what a webhook is. I keep hearing those, but I don't didn't understand. But like, I feel like I'm catching up to the rest of the community. Um, and it's fun. I just want to learn something new every day, and it's so addicting. It's so fun to learn and still help people. So, yeah, that was one of the biggest hurdles, technical hurdles. But after that course, it was just not smooth sailing, but just like fun.
So you learned more about Make, more about Stripe, more about webhooks, all that. And the one you're walking away from saying, wow, this thing is powerful, is Stripe.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, when you connect Stripe, like there's ways to connect Stripe with Make and Webflow and MemberStack and Airtable, all the good things, right? Um, that you can go around. You can figure out what Webflow is actually doing in the background for Webflow memberships, Webflow e-commerce, to the point where it's like, do I need to use those? And we all know that Webflow has stopped production on memberships and Logic. And so,
Oh, they've totally stopped on Logic and memberships.
so yeah, this isn't new news. They've announced that, hey, for the time being, we're gonna refocus back onto the designer, what they're known for.
I think they had a conversation with Mason, who was talking about his barbell. I remember the barbells, and
So I I have been campaigning internally. How about this? Anyone that would listen to me at Webflow, I would tell them that they needed to stop work on memberships and logic, and that they needed to create a surface area for people to build on top of Webflow.
Do you agree with that with e-commerce?
Yes, absolutely. E-commerce, there needs to be a surface layer so that you can go and create basically like a front end to Shopify or something along those lines. But Webflow at its current staffing levels, like Shopify is a 8,000 person company or something crazy like that. Webflow is a 500 to 600 person company. So you just can't support everything that needs to happen with the current staffing levels. But good memory there. Yeah, we had pontificated about that like about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nelson, Ophelia is out. It's live. It's launched.
Mhm.
You've got people buying, submitting tickets, doing their thing. Now, I understand from our conversation before, you said there might be another thing or two that you're working on.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable talking about those? I'm not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you already did. So yeah. So one feeds into the other. So Ophelia is that itch that I needed to scratch, and I want to help people. But bills need to be paid. So the traditional route of making agency. And what's awesome about my situation is that I am very fortunate enough to be married to an awesome graphic designer who I've known for over 20 years now, and married for over 10. And so um, I finally get to work with her. Like, we get to build our own thing. We've been through careers and been through companies where we've always said, what if things would happen like this? Why? We would always be scared to work for ourselves. But you know, you need to take a leap sometimes. You need to figure out what you're most passionate about and do the thing. If no one's doing that thing, then do that thing. And so I finished the homepage development for that one couple. So here you go. Refresh.
I love
And
this.
so-
I love that.
I saw that
Our
you updated
brand-
LinkedIn with that. Yeah.
There you go. So our brand is very quirky, very Wes Anderson-ish. We're serious about our work, but not serious when it comes time to work. Because we don't want to take ourselves.
Is this like really where you live, or did you stage this? Because I want to live here.
So this is a staged home. So there's this small little Airbnb type of website where photographers can rent out studio spaces or actual little houses that are just fixed up. And this one's a retro place, and it's really cool. But yeah, worked with a great photographer. She found the place for us. She knew what we wanted from the art boards that we sent her. She knew what we wanted from all the information we gave her, and she just nailed it. And we're so happy, and we want to work with her again on future shoots. But yeah, so this is the homepage.
The typography is so it's got so much personality. Love it.
Again, that's all her. I mean, I wouldn't know what to choose from a font. I wouldn't know what to choose for colors. And I mean, graphic designers, how do you take words and then make it into a brand? Like, that just blows my mind. But I guess it's the same thing, because she always, like, whenever she sees me coding, she's like, how do you know what to type? And I'm like, well, you just do. You learn. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So she was just at a spot in her career where she was able to like jump and do this with you as well, or is she doing this kind of part of her time as well?
Yeah, she used to work for an agency that helped with government. For example, she rebranded a whole city. So meaning that she helped change their logo, talk to the political office and whatnot, and like do presentations, help with the website design and whatnot. So yeah, she used to work at that type of agency, and she left it, and she wanted more time with our daughter because agency life, it's just like nonstop. And look at us, we're starting our own agency. But with our agency, we feel like we have more power and time to give ourselves for our family, and that's what is, I mean, that's what we mean by like this design founded on passion and love. We don't want to work with people who are just like, here, I need a churn and burn project. We don't want to work with people who don't value our time. We know there's good people out there, and those are the people we want to work with and work together as a team, rather than just day in day out projects. And that would give us time for our daughter. And we only have one child, we only have one life, one family, and so um, yeah, we want to protect that time.
That's awesome.
Hmm. So yeah, that's
When does it officially launch?
whenever I get done developing it. The design's already done. She's just waiting for me to finish. The Figma is already done. Yeah, I'm hoping to get it done either next week or the week after. Would be nice to show it off at Webflow Conf or something, like, hey, look at my site. Hey.
Would What you should do is have people like, okay, so for our speed build challenge, you need to recreate
No.
that one couple's website, and it's just free advertising.
Oh my gosh. I'd get in trouble. They get the hook, like back in the time. They get the hook, get me off stage.
What are they gonna do? Fire you? You know, like
No, they'll do like technical difficulties. Boo! No, no, but it's gonna be fun, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. And again, it's just that Indiana Jones thing. Taking the leap is easy when you already have ideas and just want to work on them, and so boom, there it is. Launched Ophelia, and then right after that, all right, that one couple. And right after that one couple is Webflow Conf. And then right after Webflow Conf is Pixel Play. So I have a lot of things going.
What's Pixel Play?
Oh, glad you asked.
Oh,
So Pixel Play is the third project that I'm working on. So um, this is one of the reasons why I said, you know what? I need to do this. I need to go. I need to leave Webflow because I want to teach children. There's so many. There's so many tutorials. There's so many articles about no code, Webflow, Framer, all the things, all the things. However, they're all targeted towards adults, young adults, and it's very technical. But if no code is the future, why did we forget that children are part of that future? And so, if you notice some of my last Webflow streams, uh, I would bring in a Mario hat and recreate the Mario start screen. For May the 4th, I brought in my lightsaber and I bought Jedi robes. Um, I was being a kid. And the more I did that, the more I'm like, this is fun. And there's adults who like to learn in a kid way. There's adults who like to, I think it's easier when visuals that are fun, it makes it easier to understand a concept. And so if I can teach kids complex concepts like the box model, HTML, and CSS, the fundamentals, what can they do with this power? What positive things can they do? Right now, they can build with Lego bricks, and it's so simple. You put the two studs together, you build things. Then they take that knowledge and bring it into Minecraft. And I'm just watching my daughter build houses and gardens, and I'm like, that's amazing. Yet they're locked in to these worlds. With no code, we all know here that you can build something and it's not locked in. You can have a ripple effect, a positive ripple effect on this world. I created Ophelia in 30 days, and already at least 5 people or more have been helped. I've helped one person with their ticket, which means I've helped him, which then helps his client, which then however many clients his client will have thanks to me helping and him getting over that hurdle to finish. Shane, he solved a ticket, and so that's two more people or even more. And it just keeps going and going. And that's what I love about no code is that, or low code too, is that you can help so many people and you won't even know how many. And that's awesome.
When it comes to teaching kids, what's the different angle? Because right now there's a lot of stuff out there that's like, oh, you want to learn programming, get this, like I move forward two bricks and then I move right two bricks and then I like do
there's all these there's Scratch, and I even my daughter's elementary school, they have a Scratch program after school where you come in for an hour or two, and then you learn how to move your car however many steps thanks to programming of these arrows. But you're teaching coding fundamentals, which is awesome. But what if you can go further with no code? And I'm creating a curriculum to bring across schools in person and teach in person and teach in a Bill Nye kind of way where it's fun, whimsical. We don't have to be in front of a computer to understand a concept. We can stand up, be around each other. Like, for instance, when I think of a webhook, now that I've learned it, a webhook is just a postman. It's a mail delivery. So you give this webhook a letter and an envelope with letter, and inside the letter is your data. Hold on. It's a letter with all this data, and you say, "Hey, can you go over to such and such and deliver it there?" And the webhook's like, "Sure, why not?" And so he walks over there, gives it to that person that you directed him to, and then the person opens it. Oh, this is a receipt of all this information that my friend back in another place sent me. So I'm going to just plug all of this into where I need to be. So a webhook is just a mail delivery person. So imagine inside of a school, you're teaching that concept and you're wearing a postman hat, or you're acting like you're driving in a postman car. Like, it makes more sense when you make it fun. And when you're imagining code in your head without coding, it starts to click. And that's how I see the world of no code. When I think this goes to this, I'm thinking in colors, I'm thinking in cartoons. And so with Pixel Play, I'm going to be making videos like how I'm explaining, but I'm going to launch with a music video. Yeah. So I've been working with a wonderful person named Casey Catalbas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she is a singer-songwriter and a wonderful Webflow developer. And she created a banger, original song, and I am so happy for it. Then I was just gonna leave it at that, but I was like, nope, this needs to be a music video. So I hired Jeff McAvoy, awesome Rive animator in the Webflow community, and he has translated my idea into something beautiful. It's kid friendly. It explains HTML, explains CSS, but I'm gonna give everyone here a little taste.
Oh, yeah. World premiere! I don't know if you've done it anywhere else, but we're saying right now, world exclusive. Yeah.
So you get 11 seconds of this.
Oh, 11, come on.
No, only 11. This is coming out. This is not done yet, but this is coming out. Hi. This is coming out after Webflow Conf. So here we go. Hold on, Nova. Do you hear this? Did you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah, box model.
Oh, Nova knows the box model.
Oh, she knows it. She knows it by heart. Here we go.
The box model is a carnival of boxes on a site.
That's all you get.
No.
Oh,
That's
leave us one
adorable.
We'll
more.
play it later. We'll play it later. Promise.
More.
You see, she wants more too. No, all done.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to connecting with, like you're talking about creating a, like I want to create content for kids, but the way that I connect with, that we can connect with kids is through music and through videos and through all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And what I know is, and maybe what you're sitting there is like, I can build websites, but I don't, like, how do I do, and so you found other people in the community, but have you found that to be something that you're like, I like part of the challenge is like bringing more people who are multifaceted in their skills to come in and help with some of these things? Because I think sometimes I find that I'm like, I'd love to do that, but I can't do that. And then it's like, well, am I going to throw something on someone else's? And so then it's like, okay, well, that's dead, And so that sometimes becomes the barrier.
Yeah, and that's where you need to ask. So one feeds into the other. So I've already had freelance clients before I left Webflow, and so I still have them now, and so that helped pay for other help. I'm not a singer songwriter, but who is Casey Catalbas and ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT, make me lyrics, and then I give it to Casey and like, this is the concept. And she said, okay. She threw it away and did her own thing. But after that, it's like, one feeds into the other, like you keep saying. And so I had to pay Jeff. And so I love the Webflow community. There's so much talent beyond just no code and low code. And so when you can tap into that and pay them for their time, it works out. If you're really going for the idea and you see value, not just money, but like value to help people, then it's worth it. And I think that's like you see my overarching theme with all these projects, and myself included. Like how do you help people?
What happens to the Pixel Geek YouTube channel?
It's still gonna happen. The Pixel Play is gonna be like its own playlist. I want to make a course that's the Bill Nye type of fun way of teaching these concepts. But like anything else that I want to teach, that I'm like, ooh, like I want to teach how Apple did their new iPhone page with the button going whoop whoop. Like I want to learn how to do that, and I want to teach people how to do it. Just be myself again. So
you want to teach the dynamic island?
Oh, that's what. Yeah, it's like a dynamic.
Isn't that what that's called? Isn't it called the dynamic island?
I guess so. Yeah, but on the bottom.
Yeah.
Dynamic island is that thing up at the top that reacts to what's going on the screen. So what's the button that you're?
Apple.com/. Here, let me find it. Let me see. Share screen. So it's this one right here. Okay, see that button right in the bottom?
Whoa.
Oh, why does it keep going? There it is.
Cool. So it's kind of like the dynamic island. It's kind of referencing.
Yeah.
The dynamic island. Cool.
Like, how do you do that? I want to learn. And then once I learn, I want to teach. And then there's that. There's that. So I'm still gonna be teaching on my YouTube channel. But for now, it's just a vlog because that's all the time I have right now for that.
So you were on the education team at Webflow?
Yeah.
Did I just hear that?
Yes, you did.
So, so is that the headless team now, or like
I don't know. That also took me by surprise.
Well,
so
why don't
you know
you?
it more than you know as much
I
as
saw
I
a
do.
tweet of people out at dinner that said, "Hey, thanks for this is my last day at Webflow" or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brant
McGuire.
McGuire.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And McGuire's not even his real name, or his real first name.
Really?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That was one.
He's
just he's a big baseball fan. He came and he grew up in the 90s. So he switched it to McGuire.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful person.
Yeah.
Is this is this something else that we don't get to know until after Webflow Conf? In the big
No,
reveal?
McGuire posted on Twitter that he.
No, I
so
mean
McGuire,
his real name. I saw the Twitter post.
You'll have to ask him if he goes to the Webflow Conf you're going to.
Yeah, it's like there's something else I need to tell you. McGuire's not my real name.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Who are you?
You lied to me.
I'm actually Vlad.
Yeah. And you. Yeah.
I knew it all along.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I just was expecting to see him at the conferences, at the comps.
Oh, is he not going?
No, well, I figured he'd just be going with the teams, but
Yeah.
I think he's going as a fan, but yeah, he was listed on the agenda for multiple cities.
Right.
So.
We'll see. It's his going away tour.
Yeah. He's like 50 Cent, doing his. Maybe that was just a headline I read.
I don't know if I got that cultural reference, but
I think 50 Cent is doing one final tour.
oh.
I'm not like a big 50 Cent fan. So to put a bow on all this, is there any final so we've got 3 new things, or are we and Pixel Geek, the channel's not going away. We're gonna have some more kind of content that's geared towards children, and then we've got the agency and we've got the community Ophelia that's going to help other people, but you're going to be just as visible as kind of ever.
Yeah,
because
I'm going out on my own and I'm calling the shots, which is scary but fun at the same time, and I'm learning so much, and that's all I want to do. I just want to learn. And one of my biggest weaknesses and probably mental hurdles I still need to get over is marketing. How I launched a thing. Now, how do you get it in front of people's eyes? That's my new thing that I need to learn, and I'm happy to learn it, and I'm happy to fail. Like this morning, I failed with sending out an email saying, "Hey, here's our that one couple's homepage. Here's the link to it." I forgot to put the link. And it went to like 600 people or something. It was like, let me send another email. My bad. Here's a link. So, I mean, I'm learning.
That's a. I used to work on a agency that did app development, and so we would design custom apps and all that. And everyone focuses on the product, the app, and oftentimes you don't think about, or not as much time is spent on okay, so once you launch this thing, who are you launching to? Now, I would say that you've actually got a pretty you've probably got a nice healthy following. The challenge for you is probably a lot of these people are making their own things, and so they don't really need to hire that one couple because they're maybe making things on their own. So it still probably presents a challenge, but it is. I have noticed, not only myself, and maybe you're going through this, is that is a skill. It's something that can be learned, but it's consistently putting in the time, being willing to fail, because it's something that often gets just kind of pushed to the wayside of oh, well, I'll deal with telling people about it once it's live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Ophelia sort of has its own built-in audience because you're already, well entrenched in the Webflow world. So, that's actually really good in that you've got a way of making connections with people. The trick will be with that one couple is who's the audience that you want to work with,
Yep.
and how are you going to reach them. So that's definitely, because I was thinking, marketing, you got it. It's like you're already part of Webflow. It's like, oh yeah, right. That one couple is like not the Webflow audience.
Yeah.
It's this is the startup audience. It's the whoever it is you're trying to reach, which is not, they're not necessarily on Twitter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So lots to learn, and I'll be leaning on the community for
Mhm.
help because I want to learn these things. But yeah,
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson, thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming on the meetup.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing it when you're not feeling very well as well.
It's okay.
Poor old Nelson.
I had a little
dragged
stomach bug
himself over.
this morning. I think I got it from my kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
Factory.
but hanging in there for y'all.
We
Aw,
appreciate you.
thank you so much.
But if one last thing I could say that what makes everything worthwhile, what I've learned so far through my whole 20+ year journey is like I just see so many. You all probably have seen this, like hustle culture, and then people saying how to make $1 million in a year, in like it's like all these things, and like I'm trying to in a nice way drown that out with, instead of helping yourself make money, like what if the message was always how can you help your fellow human and make that your purpose. And hopefully this message is getting out now that Ophelia's out, and when Pixel Blade comes out, I can push that message even more and as loud as possible, because that's what this no code thing is all about. It's just making people happy and helping their lives. That's it.
Yeah, I like that.
Rachel, did you get that? That should be a YouTube short right there.
Thank you, guys.
Got it.
Yeah, Nelson, great to see you. Thank you for just everything that you've been working on and doing. And I'll say you just seem happy. And so that's the thing I'm most excited about. Like you're just energized. You're energized in a way I haven't, like, not to say you're not, like you just have so much energy, and I can just see the ideas bubbling over, which is a challenge that I often have. Is like, oh my gosh, where do I focus?
Yeah.
And that's a really wonderful place. And the other thing I'll say is often to what you're talking about with like hustle culture, sales is just helping, right? And so when sales focuses on trying to close or trying to, like, where it's just numbers driven, you miss a bigger picture, which is it's a relationship business, and within relationships you got to think about like what is it you're trying to give, and then in the end something happens. It's just magic. So sales is what keeps us alive, but when you're helping other people, then just magically you'll see like businesses start to grow. You have numbers that are coming in, and that other stuff starts to percolate outside of that.
I didn't think of it that way. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's a way to think about sales that's not tied in a Patagonia vest, which I love Patagonia, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be broy. It doesn't have to be icky. And I think like probably you and I, and for a lot of people within the Webflow community, like that's one of the things that binds us together is this like this helping aspect. So yeah.
Doesn't have to be Glenn Ross.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm actually so Wolf of Wall Street is on Netflix right now because all the writers are on strike and they have to go and dig up old movies, but it doesn't have to feel like a boiler room.
The culture of Wolf of Wall Street I just hate, but that movie that movie is like,
it is like, yeah.
I'd never want to live it, I'd never want to be it, but there are some scenes in that movie that are like, holy cow.
Well, but like when you think about like when most people think about like sales culture, that's what is talked about, but like, and like a helping culture is not what is talked about, but um, I think that's where you see like true relationships get built, and then like I think really great businesses. So Nelson, I'm here for it, man. Let me know how I can help.
Yeah, yeah. Would love help, but let me make Ophelia work. Let it let it let it cook, as the kids
Yeah,
say, for a
it's
month.
still baking, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, like your early days, and
yeah.
um, just for context, Slater right now has it's a what is it? We're monthly recurring revenue of $90. So we're getting there.
Yes.
Uh,
Tell me, Mason, how so you started Slater like it was 6 months ago, maybe, or like released it?
we started development on it right after Webflow conference of last year, because
Okay.
we were like, building Letter Run was miserable. We need something. We need a tool, and so we started building Slater in response to Letter Run, and then we're like, hey, we have maybe a new product here, and then we started building it with the community about 6 months ago.
And then how has, because it's AI driven, how with the advancement of AI, is that like hard to keep up with your app? Are you like continuing to like, oh, now we're going to use this,
No,
this large
like
language model? Or
I feel like the models are like this, so it's a like it's a steep curve, but there's a big plateau. The biggest gap right now is us designing UIs to go around it. We're working on views right now. So right now there's like a script view and then a helping view. And we're working on a table view and a notebook view and things like that, so that you could go, table view is show me all my variables. So you could have a script and then just like see all the variables and just what are my script views and what are my Webflow variables, and see those like side by side.
what percentage of your time is spent on agency work versus Slater work, product work?
Maybe like, I don't know, like it all kind of blurs together. Sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 80-20, but yeah. But anyway, Nelson, like I just commiserate with you. Like you were talking about, like you've got like your first 5 customers, and customers just take a long time. But I love what you're doing with Ophelia. Like I just see so many opportunities there. And sometimes when I'm on my run, I'm like, oh, like Ophelia, like I could see, how Ophelia could grow this way. And so it's a great name, and really, really like it fits into like so many things that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and as I said, I want to live in that picture where you guys took for like that one couple, and I like.
Fun fact: it's a very, very old place in San Diego, and we were the last ones to take a shoot in that place, because we learned from a photographer that they're tearing down that section because like it's so old and rusted and everything that like it can't. The foundation is bad and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh my god! So sorry, you can't go.
What's the name of that site?
I forget. Shoot,
I had heard of one around here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah. My other big takeaway is that Mason's thinking about you and Ophelia on his runs, which I think is actually very flattering. That's, I mean,
well, here you go. What's exciting right now is like I see, like I have an article I want to write called "Building Bridges to Build Rocket Ships," and I think about how Webflow is helping people build bridges so that they can go from like kind of their day job, which is service based, into product based, which is the rocket ship. And I almost feel like it's like Sub Pop 1992 for anyone that's a Gen Xer. But like Sub Pop helped to launch so many really great like bands, and it was just like a part of like this Seattle sound. And that's what I think about with Webflow, and almost like this graduating class of 2023. Like Sawyer has broken out, like he's building a really great product. You're building a really great product. I know it's really sad with people leaving, but at the same time, like Webflow has grown so much. It's such a different company, and to just embrace like that there's still the spirit that can be bigger than what what any one company can be. And something that I believe with my whole heart is like Webflow is one vision that happens to have multiple tax structures around the world, and it's like that's what that's what all these people are doing. And so whether or not you're building an agency or Nelson's building a Ophelia or whatever it is, I think that's the spirit that we all resonate with, not the company that Excel has backed and now is it's like building tools, because like the tools are really great, but it is, again, I see it's this bridge to building new rocket ships.
I like that.
So
Mm-hmm.
I already
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, Nelson, good to hang out. And good to see everyone. I hope I'm not too chatty.
No, love having everyone on.
Love it.
That's what this is about. As I said, I think this has evolved this week. We've evolved into a nice conversation. It's kind of crazy. You started this whole talk, Nelson, with I started in 2013, and I was the 5th paying customer on Webflow. And to think that journey, that first step of like, hey, I'm going to sign up for this thing, led you to, I'm going to work for this company. I know not only am I going to work for this, I'm going to build a presence, and like, I'm going to help so many people. And now not only do I want to help people, but I want to help children, and I want to help people who are struggling. Then I'm going to build something with my wife. And it's like, it's kind of a, not that I've been there with you for the whole time, but seeing some things from a distance, it's really crazy to think how Webflow, it just not only has changed your life, but you're talking about that ripple effect of how it, that you mentioned, that it changes a lot of people's lives. And I know I'm better for it. Not only you, but also just Webflow in general. I mean, it's fantastic. So we're getting all mushy on this call.
I love mushy calls. I love emotions. I love pets.
We've got
Pets, hello.
ooh,
Aww.
my dog was down here. Who's this, Adrian?
Beautiful.
That's my husky Lacey, and she wants me to take her for a walk. She keeps poking me with her nose, like, "Hey,
Oh,
what time it is?"
My dog puts the nose under my hand, so I can't move my mouse. Nope.
Rachel, thanks for the reminder, and Nelson, thanks for just everything that you've been doing and that you have done.
Mm-hmm.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, Nelson, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What's the age group for Pixel Play? What's the group you're sort of aiming at?
Do you like to learn?
Sorry?
Do you like to learn?
They like to learn?
Do you like to learn?
Oh, do you like to learn? Do I like to learn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there you go. Whoever likes to learn.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because I have this kooky idea in the back of my mind, which I don't know when I can actually do it, but there's a youth group, a youth center here for kids that are struggling, that it's kind of a bit of a hangout space, and I keep thinking that they might be a kid, kids that would interested in learning something that they might not get a chance to learn somewhere else. The no code, like perhaps interesting, and they're sort of like late teens, mid to late teens kind of age. Kind of wondering, where you're, when you say teach children, what
It's kind of hard to hear you on your phone. Each word gets cut off a little, but I think I'm hearing that like there's kids that like after school there's not much to do, but it would be cool to teach them. Yeah, like I want to teach anyone who is willing to learn. Obviously, I'm going to have to change the curriculum to different age groups, but I'm gonna start with the youngest kids, the ones who like to play with Lego and the one who like to be creative and not embarrassed about it. I want to start there with elementary and then work my way up. And because going the other way around, starting with college students, it's like they're doing it because they're trying to make a living, whereas kids, they're doing it because they're creative and they love not coloring within the lines. And so I connect with them. I want to connect with them first.
Right. Cool.
I remember when I first started learning how to code. And I used to be a front-end web developer, and I remember there was this like moment of like hello world, right? And it's everyone does the hello world, and it's on the page, and it's like blue text, and it's probably flashing, and you're like, oh my god, I can do this thing. And there's this like, wow, I did this thing here, and it made this thing. And I think the opportunity with no code that is different with learning how to code is that when you learn how to code, it's like, okay, let's start with hello world and let's move through. And it takes a while. It takes a long time to be able to really do something that's like really cool, right? It can take time. And with no code, you can kind of like start at the spot where it's like, you can do these really, really cool things. And then, oh, you want to see what's actually happening there?
Yes, exactly. The fundamentals.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to teach, the fundamentals in a way that's more fun.
We put the fun in fundamentals.
Okay, I gotta go.
You can use that, Nelson.
Don't even pretend that that's not a verse in the box model song.
Yeah. But I gotta go. I gotta eat dinner. Yeah. But thank you all so much.
Nelson, thank you. You're the best.
Wish
you the best of luck with everything.
We'll be following.
So bye.
And thank you everyone for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.